Mantras never worked for me. Trying to tell myself something to convince myself of something that I didn't feel in my heart or in my body just never settled there. I spent years trying to convince myself of something using my words and my inner voice alone, and it was never enough. It wasn't until much later that I found a method that actually did help me and did work for me, and I'm going to share that with you today in the hopes that it'll help other people who have found that mantras do not work for them either. But before we get into that, I want you to take a moment to close your eyes and feel into your heart space without judgment and only with compassion, and center yourself here. If you've been on a spiritual journey like I have, if you have listened to self-help books, if you have listened to the podcasts, if you have spoken to others on this journey, I'm almost certain that mantras would have come up. The act of saying something in the effort to make you believe it, trying to speak into reality what you want from your life. I got stuck in this method for years, and it never worked for me. And the reason for that is very simple. The fact is that every time I would think something that I wanted, like, I am wealthy, my mind would immediately go to all the ways in which I have lack. If I tried to think myself thin, my mind would immediately go to all the ways in which I am not thin and I do not behave like a thin person. And thus it was true for everything else that I tried to use mantras to manifest things in my life. And it wasn't for years until I discovered that I was going about this backwards. You see, the truth is that when you are feeling something, the mantras come up automatically. So for instance, today, I was driving home after running errands in town, and I kept thinking subconsciously to myself, what a magical life. What a beautiful life. What a wonderful life. And I was feeling it pulsing out of my heart and feeling it radiate from me. That didn't happen because I was thinking those things consciously. In fact, it was because I was feeling so much love and gratitude and appreciation that those words came naturally to my mind. And I wasn't consciously aware of them at first. And that is the true secret to creating mantras that actually work for you, that actually create results and actually create change in your life. Because if you're trying to force something from a place where you don't feel it, you won't believe it either. So then the question becomes, how do we create that feeling in our life? How do we create that feeling so that those words come naturally to us? So that it is not an effort, but a reflection of who we are being. And that's where meditation came in for me. Now, a lot of people think that meditation is sitting down and being still and thinking of nothing. And that can be very powerful. But you can also use meditation to create. So when I meditate, I sit down, I settle my body, I go into that place where I am no longer thinking about all the things I have to do that day, or as close to it as I can get. Sometimes it takes a moment, and instead I conjure up the feelings that I want to feel. I conjure up love and gratitude and adventure and excitement. Those are the things that I try to feel in my heart space and in my body. And then from that place of feeling, that's where I start to focus on what I want to manifest. And because I have that feeling of gratitude, that manifestation feels real. And you want to play with that manifestation and that energy. You want to explore it and feel into it and feel how you would be as a person if you had that manifestation now. What would you do? Where would you go? What would you think? Now, during these moments, it's inevitable that you will also come up with times when the conscious mind will rise and say, that's not real. That can't happen for you. You're fooling yourself. And when those moments come up, I just want you to think change. And then I want you to let that thought go. And you might have to do that 24 times in a 15-minute session. But eventually it'll start coming up less. And the more that you return to who you want to be and what you want to do and what you want to manifest in your life, and you feel it in your body and you experience it as if it is happening, the less those thoughts will come up and the more you will believe it. And then that's where the magic happens. Because once you are being something in the world, the universe will want to reflect that back to you. I use this method to cure my anxiety and depression, which I struggled with for as long as I can remember. And at first, when I started, I was focusing on manifesting things because I thought things would fix how I felt. And after a while, I realized things would give me a little high, but it would not sustain me. And so then I started to skip the things and instead focus on the feeling. How did I want to feel? I wanted to feel light. I wanted to feel bright. I wanted to feel happy and grateful. And I wanted to enjoy life. And I wanted to be excited to wake up in the morning. And I wanted to look forward to the opportunities of the day. And when I focused on creating those feelings and becoming so familiar with those feelings that I could then create them without the need of meditation, that's when my life really changed. That's when the depression and the anxiety really shifted for me. But you don't have to just use this for mental health. Although, if you do, that is a wonderful thing. You can also use it for manifesting physical things in your life. And I have done that as well. And whilst those things are great and wonderful and fun and exciting, and they give me a little bit of joy and a little bit of lift every time, it's not as powerful as that feeling of driving on autopilot home and feeling so much gratitude and excitement and love for life that my mind is thinking without any conscious thought, what a beautiful life, what a wonderful life, what a magical life. That is worth everything. So my task for you is to spend some time thinking about feelings you would like to experience more in your life. Perhaps write them down, whether that is joy, whether that is bliss, whether that is gratitude, whether that is excitement, whether it's fun or adventure. And take time to feel those in your body and explore what those would feel like, to become familiar with them, and then to practice them by closing your eyes and focusing on those feelings. And then with time, you won't need to close your eyes anymore. You'll be able to do it with your eyes open. Sending you lots of love and gratitude on this beautiful day. I will see you in the next video.